In 1968, huge protests swept the country over the war in Vietnam. And in cities torn by racial tension, the Black Panthers were preaching revolution.
I say violence is necessary. Violence is a part of America's culture. It is as American as cherry pie.
America is in trouble today, not because her people have failed, but because her leaders have failed. We see Americans dying on distant battlefields abroad. We see Americans hating each other, fighting each other, killing each other at home. As we see and hear these things, millions of Americans cry out in anguish. Did we come all this way for this?
There was a craziness in the country and a wildness and a violence. We were in the midst of our second Civil War here in the United States. It was that serious and much more intense than you're seeing about Iraq or anything like that.
Kennedy's supporters wanted him to spearhead the anti-war movement and run against Johnson for the presidency. But Kennedy didn't want to be seen as an opportunist.
The question was, how about President Johnson and me? What about it? What are you trying to start a fight or something? Look, I said that in the past that I thought it was possible to have a coalition government in Saigon, but that doesn't mean it's possible here in the United States.
Robert Kennedy temporized about whether he should run for president or not. He was ambitious. He was against the war. Was it the right time to run or not? After Kennedy chose not to run, Gene McCarthy, senator from Minnesota, chooses to run, and he captures the anti-war movement.
Dover, McCarthy 47, Johnson 44, others 8.
I am announcing today my candidacy for the presidency of the United States.
It was against the advice of a lot of people, including his brother Ted, but it was something he felt he had to do for whatever reason, and that he ran and he got killed.
Tomorrow's citizen needs people. People who know how to plan for his future. He needs them in the right places, now. People like Robert Kennedy.
One thing is clear in this year of 1968. I believe in this country as I've traveled across, and that is that the American people want no more Vietnams.
In August in Chicago, the Democratic Party will nominate its candidate for President of the United States. There are two roads to that nomination. One is to seek commitments through discussions with political leaders. The other is to go to the people.
I think this is a great country, and I think we've accomplished... Get it here. I'm just at the pitch of my campaign speech, and I look around and it says, get a haircut. I got a haircut. No matter what happens, I got a very tough road ahead. America was a great force in the world with immense prestige long before we became a great military power. The real constructive force in this world comes not from bombs, but from the imaginative ideas, the warm sympathies, and the generous spirit of a people.
Robert Kennedy on a family farm.
That much to produce it.
Yes.
How can we make the people in the city understand our problems?
Well, elect me President of the United States.
Robert F. Kennedy in Indiana.
Even here at home, I've seen children here in the United States starving without adequate or satisfactory meals, whether it be in eastern Kentucky, whether it be on some of our Indian reservations, or whether it be in the Delta area of Mississippi. Young children starving to death. So obviously, we can work out a system where you can produce these goods, and those goods be made available to our own population.
But past battles with Teamster boss Jimmy Hoffa occasionally returned to bite him.
Senator, as a Teamster, I'm interested in how you stand with labor in government relations.
Good. Hit me again. I don't know what... Is it your turn or mine? This is the most dangerous time that you can possibly live in, but that also makes it the most interesting time. Camus said that he wouldn't exchange his time with any other time, just for that reason. We had great prestige
number of years ago around the rest of the globe, but it wasn't because of our military power and it wasn't because of our economic power. It was just because people believed in us and believed that we would do what it was right, believed that the principles that we attempted to follow within our own country we stood for around the rest of the globe, and they don't have that same confidence now.
By the end of May, it was clear California would make or break Kennedy's political career.
It's the 30th of May, I'm gonna ride all the way on the train through my home, California. And I hear people say all the way with RFK on the train through my home, California. And the train has a dream for the great San Joaquin. Can you hear what this song tries to tell you? As the train passes by, sing a dream never dies, like the grass of my home, California.
Well, he had just won Indiana and South Dakota and lost Oregon. Oregon was the first time a Kennedy had ever lost an election, so coming into California, they were going for broke. Cesar Chavez, seeing that Robert Kennedy was doing so much on behalf of the farm worker struggle, organized over 200,000 new voters in California. That's never been done before. We saw for the first time in Latino communities, people lined up at the polls before the polls opened. This happened in the black communities in California as well. And we've never seen it since. So there's something there that he had, something very special.
And so if a man follows the difficult and rewarding path of the primaries, if he is willing to come in to the fresh, stern air of popular judgment, he could do worse than submit his hopes to California. For me, this primary is a vital turning point. To you, it is a choice about the kind of future you wish. California is the largest of our states. In Tuesday's election, however, it will be all of America.
On June 4th, vote for Robert Kennedy.
Kennedy won California and looked set to challenge Nixon for the White House. Just after midnight, he gave his victory speech at the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles.
As we're walking through the kitchen towards the embassy ballroom, it was one of those wonderful scenes, kitchen workers coming over to shake hands with him, and Viva Kennedy, and Kennedy for Presidente. And it was just that kind of celebration of people who really needed the presidency more than anybody else in the country. And so we walked out and went on the platform, and he made this wonderful victory speech.
What I think is quite clear is that we can work together in the last analysis, and that what has been going on within the United States over the period of the last 3 years, the divisions, the violence, the disenchantment with our society, the divisions, whether it's between blacks and whites, between the poor and the more affluent, or between age groups, or on the war in Vietnam, that we can start to work together. We are a great country, and a selfish country, and a compassionate country. And I intend to make that my basis for running and over the period of the next few months. Mayor Yorty has just sent me a message that we've been here too long already. So, my thanks to all of you, and now it's on to Chicago, and let's win there. Thank you very much.
Moments later, he was assassinated.
Oh, my God. Senator Kennedy has been shot in the head.
Shoot it, please shoot it. Oh, no.
I am right here. Rafer Johnson has a hold of a man who apparently has fired the shot. He still has the gun. The gun is pointed at me at this moment. I hope they can get the gun out of his hand. Get the gun. Get the gun. His hand is frozen. Get his thumb. Get his thumb. Get a hold of his thumb and break it if you have to. Get his thumb. Okay, now hold on to the guy. Hold on to him. Hold on to him, ladies and gentlemen. They have the gun away from the man.
24-year-old Palestinian Sirhan Sirhan is seen firing at Kennedy in a kitchen pantry and is arrested as the lone assassin. And notebooks at his house seem to incriminate him. He carries the motive in his shirt pocket, a newspaper clipping about Kennedy's promise to sell 50 bombers to Israel. But only a last-minute change of plan led the senator into the killing zone.